There has been a massive growth in the service industry that has led to huge increase in invisible trades such as tourism, financial services, and computer services. Large numbers of highly skilled people are employed in these services. The open Irish economy is too small to survive without huge exports. Without exports, many Irish manufacturers would not be competitive enough to survive in business. Importing provides Irish consumer with a wide choice of products, for example, Japanese cars, televisions, iPads, and food products, in some cases at lower prices than home produced items. The Irish industry could not function without importing essential raw materials such as steel, petrol, oil. Certain products, for example oil and cars, are not produced in Ireland, so they have to be imported, for example Japanese cars. Foreign currency is earned, which is used to pay for imports. On average, 37% of Ireland's imports are from the UK and are paid for in sterling. So, what is the changing nature and trends in the international economy? The changing nature of the international economy has impacted on industry in Ireland, but has also provided opportunity for Irish exporters. These changes include the following: developments in technology, new emerging markets, globalisation, currency fluctuation, expansion of the EU, and deregulation. So, developments in technology. Developments in technology such as the internet, email, and video conferencing has speeded up communication and decision making. These developments have made it easier for Irish exporters to market their goods or services to foreign markets and not have to depend on smaller Irish markets for sales. Shopping online, e-business, has been facilitated because of technology. So, what are some of the new emerging markets then? The growth of economies in the Pacific Rim countries such as China, where non-union, low-wage level workforce exists, have enabled them to produce high-quality, low-cost products and export them to the global market. This provides severe competition for industry in Ireland. Cheaper imports into Ireland from those countries have a negative impact on the balance of trade. These large emerging markets provide opportunities for efficient Irish exporters of food and drink products to generate sales in those markets, which will increase their profits. In 2012, Tipperary Crystal announced that plans to open 4 stores in China, and it's confident of export sales. Globalisation then. The growth of globalisation and multinational companies who produce high quality products at low prices have made it difficult for Indigenous firms to compete even on the home market. Indigenous firms are firms that are native to Ireland. Irish exports may have to identify niche markets or enter into international strategic alliances to be able to compete. So, currency fluctuation. If the euro strengthens against other currencies such as sterling, it means that Irish exports become more expensive and less competitive. The EU is a huge market for Irish exports, so it is important for Irish exporters to develop markets where sterling is not the currency. The expansion of the EU. Citizens of the EU live in a borderless Europe where free movement of goods, services, labour, and capital has had a massive impact on industry and employment in member states. As new Eastern European countries such as Croatia join, they will be able to sell their lower priced goods into the barrier free euro market. This new competition for Ireland's export makes it difficult for them to compete profitably, especially with agricultural goods. Deregulation. The change from state control to free enterprise has had competitive implications for state firms such as VHI and Aer Lingus, as they are no longer protected with subsidies from taxpayers. The existence of the single European market has opened these non-protected Irish markets to real competition. So, additional major impacts on Ireland's economy. So, the global banking crisis. This crisis, which resulted in the collapse of the American banks in 2008, has caused a global recession. Many firms closed down and bank losses resulted in a reduction to credit facilities and terms. So there are many different global things that can happen that impact on Ireland. Back in 2008, it was the global banking crisis, which caused recession around the world, and that has an impact on our country. Now, we've come out of that recession very well, and our economy was growing until the coronavirus hit. So now this is going to cause another global recession. Many countries have had to borrow billions and billions from different world banks, and that money will eventually have to be paid back, even though a lot of the world banks are going to give very low interest rates. But something like that, as a country, you're not working in isolation. Global marketing means that you're working on a global level. So something that happens globally affects your market, and you have to come up with innovative and creative way to overcome that. Now, Ireland has been really good at doing that. We've been really good at coming up with creative, innovative ways to overcome these difficulties, and hopefully we'll be able to do that again with the fallout from this coronavirus. Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's what you need to know for international business.